to GNN. You're watching CSR, and my name is Sarah Jane Sugitan, and I'm substituting for Mr. Larry Bruhard in this episode. This show is called Corporate Social Responsibility, or Social Responsibility, and one of our social responsibility is to vote in the last May 13, 2013 elections. We have here on the show one of our fellow anchors here on GNN who threw his hat in the ring and decided to run for the first time ever as a politician. So we'd like to learn more about the lessons he learned as well, his experience in running in the 2013 elections. Mr. Harry Tambuatco, welcome
hi,
to
attorney.
CSR. Okay, Harry, I'd like to know, after the elections, what have you learned so far?
Alam mo, like your art guest a while ago, one thing I've learned about legislation, not administrative work. Our legislators, I think, are required to be innovators, to be vision developers, if not to create that vision for the future to move this country forward. If we were to rely and to maintain the current administrative mode, while you may keep the peace and hold off turmoil, the country requires visions, and these visions come from sometimes, if necessary, artists or people who will open up their minds to create visions for the future. I mean, who would think that in 20 years, I remember when I was in school, adding machine kami, the wonders of the calculator was just outrageous, and to be able to use this. And then when I was getting into university na, the slide rule was being pushed out with the electronic scientific calculators. And we were then watching movies about Dick Tracy, yung mga hello, hello on the phone, only to find out today we can't leave the house without our cell phones. And today, talking and watching yourself and being on stream, live, audio, video, can be done really by the Dick Tracy concept.
Okay, you were saying na one of the lessons you've learned as
Yes.
a first-time politician is that we require our leaders to be, what, creative?
No,
to be
two.
visionaries? What?
No, two. Administrators, meaning the president, if necessary, the vice president.
Local government.
Going down to local government. Legislators, meaning senators, congressmen. Iba yun sa administrative. Ang mayor, governor,
again, so
going down.
Who will be creative?
The creative have to be the legislators.
Pag sinabi natin legislator, mga kababayan, yan po yung mga lawmakers natin. Those who make our laws, our ordinances. They have to be creative. That's what you're saying.
Well, the ordinances, not necessarily, but yes, it requires some type of vision and creativity. Kailangan din sila to think outside the box.
Yeah, but let's go back to after the elections. What have you learned as a first-time politician?
The reason I say that is because my experience in this election trail was I find that I have found out there are very few, if almost nil, on creativity and visions created by the lawmakers. Lawmakers many times think they're still administrators.
In other words, walang plataforma ang
Yes.
mga politiko natin.
To cut it short, nakita naman natin sa kampanya, sa mga ads, how many posters did you see of the senators? Ang mukha lang nila, nakaganon, tapos vote, pangalan mo. Yun lang. Yung mga iba pa, may kasulatan pa dito. Pero wala namang kasabihan yun because they don't tell you how you're gonna serve yourself, how they're gonna make you eat. Food for everybody, education for everybody. Paano mo nga gagawin? Di ba, ganitong pondo ng bayan, you have 100 million Filipinos, maraming poor, how are you going to feed them? It doesn't matter. Basta pangalan ko, mukha ko nandoon. And I saw this throughout the campaign.
Walang question talaga, walang plataforma
Wala.
Kasi, biro mo, they're running for senator. Gusto nila maging lawmaker. And yet, they do not have an understanding of our existing laws. So they're going to create bad laws. That's for sure. That's something I know for sure.
Even with councilors who are the lawmakers in the local side, ordinances. For example, be it for traffic, garbage, health, sanitation,
we can't
or even
solve
security.
That problem.
Yeah, exactly, because there are no visions.
Garbage is everywhere.
Everybody wants to be the manager. The manager is the mayor, he's the governor, he's the president. He is the administrator who is required to be a real manager. You see, for example, the COMELEC alone requires
management.
management dapat yan. A management administration yan.
Teka, nung bumoto ka ba, nainitan ka ba? Pumila ka ba na mahaba?
Hindi,
Anong oras ka ba bumoto?
Snow White ang buhok ko, kaya senior citizen,
May
nakapasok
express
ako.
lane ka. You're in the express
But
lane.
yes, it was very inconvenient. It was extremely
I think
inconvenient.
that's the underlying theme of this automated
Kulang sa
elections.
motion
Very
study.
inconvenient.
Kulang sa motion study.
Time and motion
Time and
study.
motion study, kulang. Because hindi pinag-aralan, miski yung mga PCOS machines. Kung alam mo, 200 are going to break down. Kasi sabi niya, he pats his back on the shoulder. I'm talking to the chairman, Brillantes.
He pats his back.
He pats his back and says that in 2010, 400 machines went bad. And in 2013, only 200 he expects to go bad. If you already know the number, and if you've identified that magic number, how is it you're not able to fix it before the election? Bakit mo ba sinabak ang sira? Di ba? Para ma-inconvenience. Bakit mo pa sinabak yan?
Nakikita ko nga yung PCOS, yung ibang hindi gumagana sa presinto sa Maynila, hindi nila finifeed, dinediretso nila sa ballot box. Ika-count na lang daw at the end of the day. Hindi ba?
The most glaring, I think, thing that I've noticed talaga is even the candidates and the people themselves, those that are voting, don't know the distinct difference between legislating and administrating. Ang administrator is required to be, yan ang executive. Yan yung manager. Kumbaga may building ka.
Kumbaga sa bangko.
Sa bangko.
Pagpasok mo sa bangko, may kailangan may manager ka.
May manager ka para sa sweldo, sa kuryente.
Hindi, sa mga nagde-deposito. Di ba sa
Oo,
bangko?
iba pa yun. Sa how you move.
Sa pila, di ba? Yung pila na ngayon, yun
how
ang sinasabi
fast.
ko, nagde-deposito. So, kailangan i-manage yan na manager.
I-manage ng
Pero
tama
yung gumagawa ng mga policy, how much ang kailangan
creative
natin,
yan dapat.
Yun yung legislation.
Yung legislation. And you have to think outside of the box. And to legislate, you have to be a little open. It needs some type of creative work. Somewhat like art is such a simple subject, so it seems. We take it for granted. And yet liberal arts is probably the most important course everyone must take in school, if you think about it. This is what opens you up. And yet, we don't like it. We put it down because wala kang kikitain dyan. Kailangan maging professional ka. Correct din yun eh.
Sinasabi nga nung guest natin kanina, Ari, si Rosana Wang, sabi niya, bakit ganon? Nire-relegate natin minor subject ang art.
Correct.
Sa Hollywood, di ba sa Amerika,
Baliktad.
40% ng ekonomiya nila,
Art.
artist lahat yun eh.
Exactly,
Movie makers,
exactly.
right? Di ba? Tapos sasabihin natin, pero palagi ko sa local government, even in national government, konti lang talaga may vision at creativity. Hindi nga natin masolusyonan yung mga, mga basic problems natin. Yung fisherman sa Taiwan, di ba? Anong alam natin ngayon? Yung information ba, malinaw na, sa Comelec din, parang sa election din, di ba? Yung information was not trickling down.
The people who are running and who ran and who've won, I hope that the legislators who've won, I pray that they at least develop into it because I know most ran not knowing what the position requires. And those who voted them, masanay kayo. Kung hindi nyo alam binoboto nyo, boto lang kayo ng boto. Alam mo, mas maigi huwag kayo bumoto pag hindi mo naintindihan kung sinong bobotohin mo at bakit eh. Now, when those who voted, panindigan nyo. Pag mali, panindigan, you make your bed, you sleep in it. I lost the election in 2013, last Monday, to the incumbent. Yes, I ran as Congress, and I ran and I lost miserably, actually, out of 5. But I stand pat on my presentation, my platform, as far as I'm concerned. It's not my loss. It's Muntinlupa's loss.
That's a very good way to put it.
Yes, but to account as to why I lost, I know why. And I am not...
nag-vote buying, Harry.
No, I'm not going to concede it. One,
so you will never do it. You will never buy votes.
No, and I will not accept funds from people who will require favors for their money to sponsor.
For sure, they will require favors.
Exactly. I don't know why anyone's going to give you half a million, 5 million, tapos, pare, mahal ko kasi yung bayan eh.
Kung magdodonate kung ang magdodonate sa politiko,
of course.
Siyempre babawiin niya yun dun sa politikong nilagay niya sa pwesto, di ba?
Hindi, gaya niya mga nanalo. Lahat na nanalo. The first 12 nanalo sa Senado. Marami dyan. Talagang limpak-limpak ang pera ginastos nila sa telebisyon.
Limpak na salapi.
Sa telebisyon lang.
Hundreds
of millions. Sige nga, ang pagmamahal ba nila sa bayan, kasing lakas ng salapi na nilabas nila o may babayaran sila?
May babayaran yan.
Obvious
May utang na loob eh.
Obvious. The system itself will corrupt you because you are required to get back that money you've invested. Now, the investment is so glaring that they've blown so much money. And I don't see why the watch groups that go around talking, they should go after them now. Paano mo ginastos yan? How do you expect to get it back? Obvious
Babawiin
ba?
mo ba yan?
Ay, naku. Sabihin mo sa akin, hindi mo babawiin? Ano, mahal niyang bayan? Ang buho ko baka bigla mangitim.
Hindi, kaya nga sinasabi mo na para dito sa isang first-time kandidato sa Kongreso, magkano sa tingin mo kailangan ng budget?
Well, on TV and the papers,
senador nila. Sa tingin mo,
sinasabi
magkano
nila,
minimum?
well, para manalo ka daw, 100 million. Yun sabi nila kay Aga Mulak, sabi
100
ni...
milyon para congressman?
Who was the one who said that this morning, the Carambola radio show?
Talaga?
Yun ang
100
sinabi ni
milyon?
Puentabella. He's accusing Aga Mulak of spending that money.
Babawiin niya talaga sa ano yan.
Well, we don't know if it's true or not. Alam mo,
Baka
siraan lang ngayon niya kasi
milyonaryo
magkaaway
pala
yung
si
dalawa
Aga.
Magkaaway silang dalawa. So,
Hindi, pero ako,
kanya-kanyang
ang hari
batikusan.
nadinig ako na na-analyst na kailangan daw mga 350 million para maging
Well,
senador.
there you go.
Ewan
There
ko
you
na.
go.
Pero ang sweldo ng presidente natin, 60,000
Yeah.
lang a month.
No, but it's
senador,
obvious.
siguro less than
Yes.
the president. So, saan niya babawiin yun?
I lost Muntinlupa because I did not immerse enough into the different areas. I did not walk around. I was not present the last 3 years. I was present in the 45 days given the campaign period. I was limited to the poster size and the areas of postering. I followed the rules. I didn't want to spend because neither did I have that option because I didn't have that money to spend. But what it requires is to be able to immerse yourself to the people so the people will know. Because in my area, we did not have the opportunities for the presentation of candidates.
Wala kayong
We
meeting
only
de
had one.
avance. Dapat may meeting de
wala
avance.
Who's gonna form it? Who did it? Ideally, the city, but the city himself,
Siyempre kung ayaw ng incumbent yan.
the incumbent is also fighting for his position, incidentally, which he lost. Pero siyempre, and he was part of the party, una siya. Ang kalaban niya was LP. Now, sila, gusto nila, yung mga meeting de advance nila, presentation nila, para sa kanila lang. But the city, there is no structure for the COMELEC or anything
Or even the
to help.
watchdogs. Kailangan
Yes.
sila mismo yung nagpapamiting de avance
Yes,
para yung botante
yes.
makilala lahat ng
Yes,
kandidato,
presentation
hindi yung
of,
incumbent
yes.
lang.
Since local kami, hindi kami sinas. It was very nice that the TV stations for the first time took up
Yes.
the cudgels to present all the senators.
In-interview nila
Yeah, ang
lahat.
ganda. That was very nice. So I am so surprised that Nancy Binay got even one vote, much less number 5, when she refused to confront. Nobody knew what she
So,
was.
hindi, pero alam mo-
Everybody probably thought
Oo.
she was Judge Omar Binay. That's why they voted her.
Pero alam mo, election dyan, kahit na hindi ka mag-appear dun sa mga debate sa ating national TV, pwede ka pa rin mahalal.
Yeah, pero-
Yun. Hindi mo kailangan mag-appear
But
doon.
it shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case.
Hindi, alam mo,
It should be battle of the wits, intelligence, and what you're presenting. Not because marami kang kilala. Hindi dapat ganun.
Ako, sangayon ako sa'yo, Harry. I'm with you. I think your loss is Muntinlupa's loss. Kasi ngayon, anong mga batas ang i-expect nila para makapagbagong buhay sa kanila,
Ewan ko.
di ba? Baka wala. Pero sandali lang. Palagay ko sa sinasabi mo, yung, di ba, you abided with all the rules, di ba? You abided by all the laws, all the rules. Lahat ng limitation, campaign size, campaign poster size, etc. Even airtime limits. Nag-comply tayo dyan. Dito
Yes,
sa GMA.
lahat.
Baka ang moral of the story is, if you comply by the COMELEC rules, you will not win. Baka
Yeah,
yun.
obviously.
Kaya dapat mag-violate tayo left and right. Baka yun
Ah,
ang tinuturo
no.
ng election na
Then-
system natin.
Then mali. Because that means hinahabol ko yung position for whatever the price will be. No. At all cost. I will not go after the position at all cost. I don't need it. Alam mo, ang tawag dyan, equal opportunity for public service. Don't lose the last two words. It is not equal opportunity for personal interests. Alam mo, public service is the ability to serve the public, to improve your community. It's a social responsibility. The corporate social responsibility, like this show, is not about charity. It's not about the ability to provide food to the next person so they can eat for the day. It is to be able to provide the manpower and sustainability of your market to exist. Pag ginuto mo yung market mo, ang merkado mo, at wala na bibili ng produkto mo, maski anong gawin mong produkto, wala na mamimili. Kasi naubos na yung merkado mo.
Di ba yung Chinese proverb nga, you don't give a man a fish. You teach
Yes,
him how
that's
to
right.
fish.
Well-
Pero sa government natin, ewan ko, baka dito sa ating electoral exercise, we just give them a fish. Di ba?
well,
Sa vote buying, you just give them officials para bahala na.
The CCT program is a good short-term approach towards a program which has succeeded in some countries, especially in South America. With the Millennium Project hanging over us and the funds that we have taken, it may have required that advancing the funds, but it should only be short-term. The problem with our laws is once, it's like the travel ban. When we had the travel ban during the Marcos era, meron yung travel tax, 1620, which today, 30 years later, we're still paying that tax. Wala na martial law. Wala na. In fact, we are oozing with dollars. And yet, we're being taxed in the airport, every citizen to leave. Now, this is the problem. Kasi nasanay na yan, money is coming in, and you've created bureaucracies, institutions. How many offices were created? On the first CCT program of 21 billion, 4 billion went into the creation of the bureaucracy to distribute the 17 billion. This has grown to 40 plus billion and growing to 70 billion this year based on the GAA, the appropriations. Ang problema niyan, once the bureaucracy is already created, you have to feed that bureaucracy. Continuous na yung office na yan eh. But you see, giving money and not giving them jobs is what is going to tear that system apart. It is not self-sustaining. Now, to think out of the box, you need legislators to be visionaries. I promoted a vision for Muntinlupa, which obviously was rejected. I presented it to my contestants as well. I found that my contestants, other than the incumbent, had no platform.
No vision.
Yes, the incumbent was too busy tackling national issues. Someone should tell him he's not a senator, he is a congressman, a representative of a specific district.
Yes.
Now, what ails my district? I'll tell you what ails my district on an annual basis. It's the flooding, period. For now, it's the flooding. Sure, we still have our share of informal settlers, but we have a solution towards it if somebody wishes to even tackle it. But no, unless you have a vision, wala. That's why the creatives, the arts, I like listening to that woman who presents the purpose for art and the requirement, because this allows the mind to open up. It takes out the blinders, like the horses. Isang takbo lang and you're being guided by the noose. You open the blinders and you open up.
And then you think of solutions.
Yes, ganun dapat.
Maraming salamat, Hari Tambuhat ko. Ako, fearless forecast ko sa Muntinlupa, babahain kayo lalo. Mas maraming mamamatay.
Without a doubt.
Dahil wala
Without a doubt.
They didn't choose to win with you. So, para sa akin, ang natalo doon, hindi,
No,
ako lang.
let's not blame Muntinlupa. I have a fault. I did not
Hindi ka nag-vote buying.
No, I did not
Ako
immerse.
nag-vote buying ka.
Hindi ako nag-immerse deep enough for the people to meet me, to know me, because the opportunity never came up.
I hope, well, I'm not encouraging vote buying. I'm a lawyer. Vote buying is illegal. It is a crime, but yet it is very prevalent in our society. So we get the government that we deserve, mga kababayan. You know, these elections we brought back the traditional politicians. So whether or not we will benefit from it as the masses, as the voice of the majority, as a democracy, remains to be seen. I'm not really looking forward to brilliant, intelligent laws. Kasi yung mga senador po natin, hindi ko nakikita nakaugat yan sa legal history. So expect more laws na confusing and mas magpapahirap po sa atin on a daily basis. Alam ko yan dahil abogado ako, nagpa-practice ako. Napakahirap ng mga batas na ginagawa ng mga hindi ho nakakaintindi ng batas. But anyway, elections is over. We have selected our leaders. And who knows, maybe we will drown some more from Laguna de Bay. Baka nga maging airport yun, di ba? Gusto nung hindi natin alam. Sabi mo nga, no, kung kulang ng creativity, wala solusyon.
Wala, biro mo gusto gawin yung airport, gusto nila i-reclaim. Di ba nila alam, napipinsala ang daming tao doon, mas gusto mo pang magbaha.
Maraming salamat, Hari Tambuhat ko. Tune in again next week right here on GNN CSR. My name is Sarah Sugitan. Thank you for watching.